Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The sun rose gently over Flagstaff's mountains on a day that no one in the Brown family had anticipated. The normally boisterous, energetic tribe was shrouded in collective quiet. The air was thick with sadness and meditation as the Brown family gathered for a sorrowful, intimate farewell. They were not filming an episode of Sister Wives that day, but the cameras lingered silently at a respectful distance. This moment went beyond reality TV. It was about family, sorrow, and the unbearable pain of burying a loved one. Garrison Brown, Janelle and Kody Brown's beloved son, had tragically died, and his vast polygamist family, formerly bonded by shared ideals and dreams, stood broken in grief but momentarily unified by sorrow. For many years, Garrison was known not just as one of the many children in the Brown family, but also as the son who dared to speak his mind, frequently criticizing Kody and sticking up for his mother Janelle and his siblings. He served in the National Guard, established his own life, and became a quiet fan favorite among Sister Wives watchers due to his sincerity, strength, and subtle wit. His unexpected and surprising death saddened not only his family, but also the thousands of fans who had come to know and love him through the program. As soon as the news emerged, social media was inundated with condolences, sadness, and memories. But the Brown family's pain went beyond the headlines. It was personal, intense, and irreparable. Janelle, the lady who usually carried herself with calm knowledge and maternal elegance, was distraught. Losing Garrison damaged something in her that could never be healed. She had always been the glue that held her children together as their father went away in search of Robin and what many viewed as a better life. Janelle had expressed subtle concerns about her children's mental well-being, particularly Garrison's, in the months leading up to his murder, and now the greatest dread a mother could have had has come true. She sat toward the front of the memorial, surrounded by her children, holding a folded photo of Garrison in uniform, her eyes empty with sadness. She didn't say much that day. Grief had taken her voice. But her body language spoke louder than words ever could. Kody, the father who had formerly been the focal point of this multi-generational family empire, was a shell of the guy viewers had known. Kody, who was formerly so outspoken, proud, and stubborn about his ideas, appeared troubled. His connection with Garrison had been tense for several years. They'd had public disagreements, private tensions, and extended silences. Kody had previously rejected Garrison's criticisms, prioritizing Robin over his developing children. Now, standing at his son's funeral, that decision appeared to crush him under the weight of regret. He wore a basic suit, no cameras in sight, and his normally groomed hair hung limp. The patriarch who had dominated attention appeared virtually invisible. And as the family gathered to talk about Garrison, Kody stayed silent, saying something inaudible as he approached the casket and tenderly brushed it with his palm. Some stated they saw him mouthing, "I'm sorry," others say, but he simply closed his eyes, stuck in shock. Christine, no longer spiritually married to Kody but inextricably linked to the Brown family through her children, flew up from Utah as soon as she heard. She and Garrison had developed a particular bond, and she had always considered him one of her own. At the service, she gave Janelle a heartfelt embrace, their previous differences swept away by sadness. Christine spoke gently, her voice quivering as she recalled Garrison's kindness, protectiveness, and quiet power. "He was a good soul," she added as she wept, "one who saw through the noise and always stood up for love, even if it meant standing alone." She wore a basic black outfit and a small silver eagle charm around her neck as a respect to Garrison's military service. Her daughter Isabel clutched to her side, devastated by the loss of someone who had grown up with her like a brother. Mary, a frequent exception in recent years, also arrived. Her attendance at the service astounded some admirers, who were aware of her emotional detachment from the family's recent troubles. But this was more than just drama. Mary, despite her disagreements with Kody, stood calmly among the others, placing a single yellow rose at the grave. In her own homage, she mentioned how Garrison once assisted her with a little home improvement during her early Flagstaff days. "He didn't talk much, but he had a big heart," she continued. He just showed up, no questions asked. Mary and Robin stood together briefly. They didn't say anything, but the weight of their silence spoke volumes. Robin, the most divisive character in the Brown family drama, wept openly. While her relationship with the older Brown children had been strained, she was also crushed by Garrison's death. Despite the conflict between her and Janelle's children, Robin had always attempted to maintain a motherly role, even if it was unwelcome. At the service, she hugged her children and expressed her sorrow via tears. She didn't comment publicly, but insiders say she approached Janelle in private, apologized for any harm, and promised to assist in any way she could. It's unknown whether the gesture was accepted, but it revealed a fracture in Robin's generally stoic demeanor, a rare moment of emotion. The siblings took turns exchanging memories. Gabriel, Garrison's brother with the closest age and bond, struggled to talk. They had been through everything together: TV cameras, family splits, and conflicts with their father. Gabriel appeared tired, furious, and lost. When he stood up to speak, he broke down midway through, saying only, "He didn't deserve this." Logan, Hunter, Madison, Savannah, and others sat arm in arm, leaning on one another in a way that reminded everyone of the Brown family's former unity and love, even if imperfect. The service was held outdoors, near Garrison's favorite mountains. His military service was commemorated with a folded American flag and gentle taps played by a lone bugler as the wind blew across the fields. The casket was basic, decorated with childhood photos, a few flowers, and a small framed statement that read, "Even in the darkest night, the stars still shine." As the family released white doves, the silence was broken with sobs, hugs, and prayers. There was no eulogy that could express the Brown family's anguish or complexity, but the shared tears spoke for themselves. The effects of Garrison's death lasted well beyond the burial. It changed everything. For many, it was the final wake-up call. The Brown family's cracks could no longer be hidden behind editing or ignored by denial. The schism between Janelle, Kody, and the kids now felt permanent. Viewers questioned whether Kody would ever be able to mend his ties with the older kids, particularly Gabriel, who appeared saddened. Will this tragedy lead to healing or deeper separation? Janelle stepped away from the spotlight for a period, focusing on her surviving children and her own mental health. She occasionally paid tribute to Garrison online, posting photographs of him beaming in his military uniform or carrying a dog from his charity work. Her anguish was public yet respectful. Christine went to Utah with a sorrowful heart, but she remained close to Janelle, offering support from afar. Mary uploaded a snapshot of a single candle with the words, "Rest easy, Garrison." Robin remained silent on social media, choosing not to speak publicly about her loss out of respect or fear of retaliation. Kody, meantime, appeared to vanish from public eye. His next appearance on Sister Wives would be distinguished by intense reflection. Some followers wondered if this tragedy would alter him, force him to reconsider his decisions, reunite with his estranged children, or admit the damage done. However, for many, it was too late. Garrison was gone. The opportunity to reconcile with him was gone forever. That truth would follow Kody, Janelle, and the rest of them for the rest of their lives. This event not only ended Garrison's life, but it also marked a watershed moment in the Sister Wives tale. It was no longer about plural marriage, Coyote Pass, or who remained legally or spiritually attached to whom. It became about actual agony, irrevocable loss, and a family striving to hold on to each other during the deepest grief conceivable. As the plot progressed, many fans urged the show to slow down, if not terminate entirely, in honor of Garrison's legacy. Others believed that his memory could promote healing. In any case, his absence created a hole that no reality TV narrative could ever replace. Finally, the Browns placed Garrison to rest as broken parents, heartbroken siblings, and a fractured tribe pulled together by tragedy, rather than as characters in a long-running drama. In that hushed, tear-filled service beneath the Flagstaff sky, just one reality mattered: they had lost someone precious. Nothing would ever be the same.